Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. And before I begin, I hope you all had a lovely and wonderful Deepavali. Rakesh, I'm unable to have conversations with my colleagues and clients which is on a non technical topic. I've been told that I should have a better conversation, be a little bit more social, but I'm not comfortable with this. Any tips? This whole art of conversations is called an art and is a lot more difficult because of two simple reasons. One, we have no idea what will happen. So it's a very impromptu, dynamic conversation and communication. So you cannot prepare. When you give a speech or a presentation, you know the topic and you can control a lot of communication because you know what you're going to speak. So you prepare and come. Conversations are a little bit tricky because you don't know what will happen. You have no idea. It's uncharted. There's no book. There are lots of frameworks, but it also requires a lot of thinking, a lot of preparation, a lot of comfort in our own skin, and that's a problem. And in your question, I can sense this that you're very good at having technical conversations. But when you are meeting customers, clients, and your colleagues in a professional but non office setting, you're also expected to be a human being. And that's where the problem comes. So, what I'm going to do is in this video, I'm going to give you some concepts which will tell you why having conversations is difficult and then give you few tips on how you can improve. The first is that please remember, just like foundations of communication, you are going to go through two severe anxieties when you're having a conversation. The first anxiety is called a performance anxiety. Now you are in front of people, you're supposed to speak something, and the performance anxiety comes from maybe you saying to yourself that I have to speak really well, मतलब फोड़ दूंगा मैं. एंड जो वो शब्द आएंगे वो इतने बढ़िया कि लोग मतलब बैठ जाएंगे कि यार क्या बोलता है, क्या कॉन्वर्जेशन करता है. सो वी हैव आवर ओन स्टैंडर्ड्स, वी कॉल देम परफॉर्मेंस, कि मतलब रेस में अगर जाऊंगा तो जीतूंगा ही जीतूंगा. So performance anxiety, many of us have, and it comes from foundations, education systems, corporate systems कि हर बार जीत के आना है. And the same attitude comes in conversations कि जीतना है. And that feeling can cause pressure. It can cause our minds to go through a lot of problems. And what happens is that our mind is like in that unrestful state where it has to find the right sentence, it has to behave properly, it has to impress, and after the conversation we must be successful. So our mind is in that mode, and that causes a serious problem. So remember that you are suffering from performance anxiety, which is why you'll observe that you don't like conversations. You're very uncomfortable. The second is the social anxiety, that you may say something but you're very worried कि यार वो क्या सोचेंगे, कहीं मेरे को बुद्धू तो नहीं सोचेंगे, will I be an imposter in front of us. All of these things combine, so this is called social anxiety, the fear of being judged wrongly. And today social anxiety is a serious problem. Most of us, we are worried about आप क्या सोचते हो मेरे बारे में. See, we all want to be thought by other person as a successful human being. But if I say something and if the world judges कि ये तो क्या बुद्धू है, क्या बेवकूफ़ है, कहाँ से पढ़ के आया है, it bothers us. And in many other social sciences, psychological, philosophical concepts, some people call it imposter syndrome, कि मुझे पकड़ लेंगे and मेरी communication से पता पड़ जाएगा कि I am not comfortable and confident. So all these things create anxiety. तो क्या होता है? Performance anxiety, social anxiety, they are pushing your brain. Your brain is under attack, and the brain then starts to react, and the output of that is very clumsy conversations, very awkward sentences. You may say something you may not enjoy listening to yourself. You may regret it. You come home कि अरे यार आज ये बोलना चाहिए था, नहीं बोला, अपॉर्चुनिटी चली गई, लोग मुझे गलत समझेंगे. सो वी गो थ्रू अ सीरियस लाइक अ गिल्ट ट्रिप. and humiliation trip. And then we make a decision कि I'm not good at conversations, I will never speak again. And जब बोलूँगा बस टेक्निकल बोलूँगा वरना मैं नहीं बोलूँगा. So we then relate to concepts like introversion कि अरे मैं तो introvert हूँ, मैं तो बोलता ही नहीं हूँ. So you find justifications to prove to yourself that you're not good at conversations. And I think they're all interrelated myths and misconceptions. So please remember, your brain is under attack. एक तो परफॉर्मेंस एंजाइटी हैमर मार रही है, सोशल एंजाइटी और हैमर मार रही है. सो यू आर रिएक्टिंग टू इट. So what I'll now do is give you some 4 or 5 tips that you must do. It's a framework to have better conversation. There are some 5 stages. Let's call them 5 stages. If you have to be a better conversationist, the first stage is you must come out of your war zone of your mind to a relaxed zone. Because your mind needs to go through that. Tell your mind it's okay not to say intelligent things. Tell yourself it is okay कि मेरे को impress नहीं करना है. Tell your mind कि यार it's a conversation. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा, लोग बात नहीं करेंगे. But that's okay. I'm not going to lose a job or a promotion just because of this simple conversation. So get your mind to be in the right stage. It is called relaxed stage. So come to the relaxed stage for your mind and for your body. So that is stage number 1. Stage number 2, and I'll look at my notes. Stage number 2 is, it's called the rapport stage. See, when 2 people come, थोड़ा rapport बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Make the other person feel comfortable. You also become comfortable. Make the other person feel that you're in the right conversation, ताकि वो कहीं भागे नहीं. The other person should not feel कि अरे यार यही मिला मेरे को. So build the rapport. This is where pleasantries, a little bit of body movements, eye contact, smile are very helpful. But make the other person feel comfortable and you also become comfortable. Rapport, exchange pleasantries. So that is stage number 2. Stage number 3. This is called the nudge state. कि भाई rapport बन गया, अब क्या करोगे? So you may want to pick up a simple topic and have a nudge. Ask open-ended questions. So you will find the other person willing to talk, but they'll talk on topics they love. So apply your listening skills, nudge the other person. And let's say the other person is giving hints that he's very fond of traveling. Ask an open-ended question कि आप traveling के बहुत शौकीन हो. What's your favorite place? And let the person, nudge the person to talk and you become a good listener. What happens is that you become comfortable. Your performance anxiety goes down. The other person builds rapport. He feels nice. कि अरे यार कोई सुन रहा है मेरे को. So the conversation moves forward. So this is the nudge state, the 3rd state. The 4th state is, this is where you should now make progress. That once the other person is in their flow, you also join. And this is the 4th stage, which is progress. The conversation becomes effortless. उनको भी मज़ा आता है, आपको भी मज़ा आता है. You both exchange some very nice information. Maybe you both decide to again meet and have some more meetings on the topic that you discussed. Because the structures of conversations come in. The rapport is built, the energy is good, and emotions are flowing very positively. And this is the progress stage. Progress stage is energy, emotions, much more meaningful conversation. दोनों को मज़ा आना चाहिए conversation में. And the 5th is very important, that you must now know when to close. Because remember, there is no infinite time. सबको busy है, सब काम करते हैं. तो you need to know when to close. So the 5th stage is, find a way to meaningfully close the conversation. Say something that it was great talking to you, बड़ा मज़ा आया, exchange notes and break off. So let me summarize the 5 tips and 5 stages of good conversations. The first stage is relax. Get your body and mind to be in a relaxed, non-attack zone. Second, make sure that you build rapport with the other person. This is where your non-verbals play a very critical role. Smile, eye contact. Make the other person feel that you're in the right conversation. Third, nudge. Ask with some open-ended questions. Listen them. And see if the nudge helps the conversation. Otherwise क्या होता है, कभी कभार silence में पहुंच जाती है conversation और दोनों लोग कुकड़ू कू इधर उधर देख रहे हैं, and the conversation dies because the energy drops. So the 3rd stage is nudge. Have this presence of mind to ask a open-ended question based on a simple topic. 4th, some progress. Take the conversation to a nice flow where they also enjoy, you also enjoy. You participate, they listen, they participate, you listen. That will become an effortless stage. And number 5, close. Know when to close. So when you are now armed with these 5 stages, practice. And don't go with your client on the first day. Start this at home. Start with your friends. Start with your neighbors. Your mind needs to learn to relax. And once you have mastered this framework, now go to the office and with your customers and with your bosses and start this 5 stage conversation framework and see the results. At the end of the day, आपको अच्छा लगना चाहिए. You should enjoy. And it's a lovely process which will make you more confident, will make you better conversationist, make better relationships, networks, and in the end, good for you. So on that note, have a wonderful Diwali and the rest of the year again, and stay safe.